So season 2021-22 is fast turning into the most Swindon-y of seasons in certainly my history following our football club. After the ups and downs of yesterday, you can probably tell from my voice. I thought, what better way to celebrate our sudden emergence as playoff contenders than by asking the wonderful Steve Hooper to come on board tonight once again and take us under the hood of the current Swindon Town squad. Arguably one of the most Swindon Town squads that I can remember. We've had unbelievable comebacks in terms of rogue left backs that are turning into accomplished centre midfielders. We've got loan signings that started the season firing us to the top of the table and then disappearing, only to be replaced by incredible loan signings who we've then lost through a combination of injury, illness, suspension, all kinds of craziness. Only a week ago, we were staring down the barrel of another season in League Two. And yet here we find ourselves staring down the barrel of potentially an incredible playoff campaign. How does it happen? It can only happen at Swindon Town Football Club. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Tyler. Ty, how are you? And how's the voice?
Oh, I'm not too bad. You sound quite rough.
Mate, I tell you what, fair to say I was in full voice in the town end last night. As it seemed, was the entirety of the ground. That was some atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very, very good. I mean, I've spoke about that atmosphere on the Low Strangers earlier today, so I was very impressed. Up there with Sheffield United in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I made a point to my family that were in attendance with me that it was certainly comparable to Man City, but where Man City had this sort of air of exhibition match about it, last night there was obviously a huge amount riding on the game, and I think the thing that excited me the most was that Harry had called us all out, told us to all bring our A game, and the fans didn't let him down, did they? It was absolutely magnificent.
No, it was brilliant. I mean, City felt more like a bit of a carnival, bit of a festival, whereas that was like cup final yesterday. So
yeah, proper game.
We've got a few more cup finals to go before hopefully a trip to Wembley.
Yes, we certainly have. And we're going to come on to that, Ty, because obviously we'll preview the Barrow game after this. Hopefully we can convince Steve to stick around and give us his as much as he can of an insider input. But delighted to say that we've been drowned with some very, very bizarre questions from the Swindon Town fan base. The things that people really want to know about our squad. So at this point, I'll bring Steve on board. How are you, Hoops?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Well, mate, listen to the voice.
Yeah, right. What happened to you?
Mate,
you know what that is? It's not conditioned for it because it's been a bit quiet, hasn't it?
Oh, you bitch. you big bitch. I don't know what to say to you.
No, Steve, it's his old age. That's what it is.
Man, listen to you. I was absolutely roaring last night, boys. I'll tell you what, Steve. Matt Edwards' video, obviously tinged with sadness because of the loss of little 5-year-old Link this week. Yeah. But the one thing, Link aside, that I took from that video was what it must have sounded like on the pitch. And I think the thing that there was a lot of debate in the build up to the game last night about just how much the racket the fans make actually means and drives on the players. Well, I'll tell you what, if ever you wanted something that kind of captured it, it was that piece of video. It was sensational.
Yeah, agreed. Matt's really good, to be fair. He's done a lot this year. He's exceptional at what he does, isn't he?
Well, how did it compare for you, Steve? Being obviously yourself and Jonah are privileged to be in that position where the ground's kind of ramping up before kickoff, and the team start finding their singing voice, and then obviously you come out with the boys as they emerge into what obviously last night must have been an absolute cacophony of noise. I mean, how does that rate in terms of atmospheres you've experienced?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was. I mean, obviously, there was a lot of people coming really late last night. So when we were doing the warm-up, it wasn't as busy as it could have been. But then when we've come back out, after the boys had gone in and we come back out, it was incredible. Like we were sat there going, wow. Imagine if it had been like this all year. Where could we be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing. I mean, that's the one thing that I sort of considered going back down the M4 last night was, blimey, if that, I mean, because you really did see it in their performance. I mean, every single one of those boys were up for it, weren't they? And I mean, it would be wrong of me to say that it wasn't like we were playing with 10 men. After Ellis got the red, because of the work rate they were all putting in. But I mean, they literally, all the boys stepped up, didn't they? I mean, there wasn't a blade of grass that I think Payne didn't cover. Likewise, Johnny as well. I thought, Johnny was bombing about. Reedy covered every blade as well. I mean, Josh Davison must be absolutely exhausted. But oh mate, yeah, genuinely, I was bowled over by that.
I think what it shows as well is we know we're one of, if not the best footballing team in the league. But it also shows that we can win a fight, we can win a battle.
Yeah.
And that was something that maybe, fans had a question mark over when things get tough. Like, how is the group? And they showed last night that there is no worries. That if there's a battle, if you're down to 10 men, if his back's against the wall, then they've got what it takes to pull through.
Yeah, for real. And I'll tell you what, I mean, what really stuck out for me last night, I've been a big critic of our ability to defend set pieces and corners from out, like of set pieces from out wide and corners. And I mean, I don't know how you felt, Ty, but I mean, it just seemed like every time my confidence grew. Every time a ball went in the box, you saw a Swindon Town head on the end of it. And it again, similar to you were saying about if the crowd had been there all season. I mean, similar questions. I was like, well, what is it about last night that suddenly made us defensive superhumans in that respect? Compared to the earlier in the season. But hey, let's not worry about those questions. We can save those for another time. The fact is, we've rolled them over, and we've only gone and done the double over the team that's top in the league. So your point about us being the best footballing team in the division, I mean, yeah, very much proven last night. Ty, what did you? What was your takeaway in terms of Forest Green? For my money, I thought they moved the ball around well. They had loads of pace and power and whatnot. What did you think of FGR? Apart from the fact that they none of them eat a steak.
They're just I'm impressed that they were at one point 18 points clear or whatever it was, because both times we've played them this year, I've just really not been impressed with them.
Yeah,
like Cadden and Wilson, they are two players, but the rest of it's a bit like, to me, it's a bit, how are you there?
Yeah,
it probably helps that they didn't have Stevens last night, and obviously for some odd reason they ended up taking Matt off, which baffled me. But I'm shocked that they're as high as they are, going off what we've seen.
Young Mr. Godwin Malif did his absolute utmost to endear himself to the county ground faithful as well, didn't he? I mean, I've seen some bizarre sort of behaviour when there's been scuffles on the pitch, but I mean, when I watched the replay, I just couldn't believe his antics. And I'm sure. I mean, equally, I mean, Johnny Williams, generally regarded in football as being one of football's nice guys. I can't imagine what was said to Johnny Williams to make him go off the way he did. Could have been particularly sportsmanlike, but it didn't seem to affect his performance. Though, I mean, with all the booing, the guy actually turned in a performance, didn't he, as well? Yeah, it was an absolute joy watching us pick them apart. And to what was it I said? So I said to you at half time, didn't I, that I called it comfortable 3-0. And at 2-0 up, I said we'd go in 2-0 up and then we'd pick a late one off. And at half time, I thought we were on the cards for that. And then obviously the sending off happened. It kind of changed the game as a spectacle, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that Godwin Malice, whatever it is, I don't think he had a great game. I mean, he's sort of, it's down his side that most goals have come. So, but swings and roundabouts. We got 3 points. They didn't. Still alive. Keep doing it.
Yeah,
how was obviously, Steve? Silly question. What was the mood like in the camp after the game?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, what was a really nice touch was after the game. the club got Link's parents to come down to the changing room and
nice.
got to be with all the lads. And the shirt that Dion signed up, we got all the lads to sign it to give to the parents and that, and that was quite a touching moment, to say the least. Which kind of changed the mood, obviously. But no, obviously everyone's buzzing. Like, we got the momentum, and after those couple of wins, who knows?
I mean, I thought the 5th minute applause for Link really was something, wasn't it? The entire ground, everyone standing up as well. That was noticeable.
Yeah, no, it was really nice. I mean, obviously we had him with us at Oldham earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
And Dion took him out onto the pitch and he was in the change room that day. And it's just such a sad story, isn't it? But, yeah, no, I'm glad that, his parents felt that they could come to the game and that, the club dealt with it in such a good way.
Yeah.
No, it was really nice. Like, obviously not nice, but, like the way that it was dealt with, and, you just feel so much for the parents. I've got a 5-year-old myself, and you can't even put it into words. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't comprehend it, mate. The loss of a child is not something that I think any of us would want to comprehend. I mean, I'm not a massively religious individual, but the one thing that I've always said is that midweek games under the floodlights at the county ground is a very, very, very special feeling. And there's a little part of me that likes to think that fans that have followed the club in the past and sadly no longer with us, when you've got the beam of those lights coming out the darkness, illuminating that football pitch, there's a little bit of magic. I like to think there's a little bit of their heart up in those lights. But it was obviously we wish Link's family all the best these very, very difficult times. And just over the moon that the club showed such a classy tribute. Immaculately, I'll say immaculately observed. It wasn't a minute silence, was it? But it was just the fact that the entire ground seemed to stand up in unison and clap. Absolutely phenomenal. And the fact is, Steve, I mean, I know that we ask for people to do that in the 5th minute, but just the spontaneity of that as well was absolutely astounding. And I'll tell you what else. The fact that all the players on the pitch appeared to stop and applaud as well, which I thought was a bit special.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a collective tribute observed quite like that at a county ground before. So, hats off to everybody. But right, Steve, we're going to put you on the rack tonight, mate. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've had a day off today, so all right.
I'm for once, I'm going to try and do as little talking as possible. And Tyler and I are basically going to alternate through a bunch of questions that we've been sent, Steve. And if you don't want to go there, you just say, I don't want to go there. But equally, I don't think there's anything that's going to put you in anyone's bad books, he says.
I've just seen the first question.
Yeah, indeed, Tyler. The first question which you're going to ask.
So, Steve, who out of the current crop of lads would you say has the most questionable hygiene?
Oh my God. I don't know, that's a tough one, that. I don't know. That's difficult. I could give you the best hygiene and the best routine.
Oh, well, go on, then.
That's Harry McCurdy, obviously.
Interesting.
Spends about 30 minutes in front of the mirror, putting all sorts of stuff in his hair. Mad. Crazy. But no, I don't know, really. They're all pretty clean.
Who do you think, Ty? Who do you think then? Let's take the pressure off Steve. Who would you put in that category? And don't you dare not give me a suggestion.
Oh, I've got my answer locked and loaded, mate. I've seen him eat chips off the floor at McDonald's.
Oh my God!
It's minnow, 100%. 100%.
No, but listen, I'm going to step in at Minnow's defence here and say I will guarantee you that there was the 3-second rule was in play. Surely.
Oh, definitely, yeah, 100%. But
yeah, well, that's allowed, mate. No, I'm not being funny.
It's still a bit dodgy, so.
Steve, I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah, go on. I'll look out for it. I'll try and figure out Yeah.
Oh, let's move on quickly from hygiene. In fact, I'm sure we're going to come back to it. But Steve, so obviously after training, the boys tend to come back and or they'll grab a bite to eat, and indeed they're given food after games, and indeed they might grab a bit of breakfast. Who is the greediest at the lunch bar?
Oh God, can it be staff as well, or are we just saying players?
Well, I think that's up to you to interpret. I'd like to know both. Now you've said that.
Okay. Well, staff, Mildy.
Yeah, he's a big lad. Needs it.
All over it. Yeah. If there's ever any cake, there's some hidden somewhere on top of a fridge or in the microwave or God knows where, and then he just comes back and finds it.
Mildy can sniff it out, but he's a svelte man. He
hides it. He hides it and then goes and has some and then comes back for seconds. Player-wise. See, this season has been completely different to anything we've had before. So they have got set amounts of food that they're allowed to eat based on their size and body weight and all the rest of it. So they can't really be greedy. Or not within the club anyway. And I don't really see them when they're off at Nando's or whatever. But,
who do you suspect, Steve?
Who do I suspect?
Because I'll tell you what, you've just said something very interesting there, Steve. Because some of the boys, when they've clearly got like a long weekend off or a long break between games, and they're on Instagram, and when they go to Nando's, they go hard, don't they? They go big.
Yeah. I'm going to go with. Who should I go with? I'm going to go with Reedy, I think.
Greedy.
Yeah, I reckon Reedy.
Greedy. Well, that makes
me listening. Yeah. Is he in there? No. But yeah, I reckon Reedy. Yeah.
Right, so we had a conversation with Fabrizio. I think this is what's inspired this listener's question. We had a Fabrizio Picaretta on earlier in the week, and we were talking to him about pizza toppings. Ty, do you want to go with this?
Oh no. Who has the worst taste of pizza topping, and what is it? I think I know the answer.
When have I been for a pizza with the lads? After games, the vegan stuff that comes in. What is that? Some of the lads have this vegan cheese pizza, and it looks like cardboard. It's awful. So
it's cheese on toast, mate. Do you know? Like I've had this conversation with an Italian friend of mine, Giovanni. He lives in a little village called Arcore, which is where Berlusconi lives, just on the outskirts of Milan. And he was telling me that a margherita pizza is basically like going into a restaurant and asking for cheese on toast. And he said to me, "Don't you ever come to Italy and ask for a margherita?" He said it's just not allowed. And Fabrizio, Tyler, he got very, very defensive, didn't he, about pizza toppings? He was talking about people being beheaded. So literally, that's it. Game over in Italy. You start putting silly stuff on pizza. And he said that you can't have a pineapple on a pizza. He wasn't having it.
We can't let McCurdy go to Italy then, with what he put on his Instagram start of the season.
Good God.
Mate, he had spag bowl on pizza.
Oh, I saw that.
That was, I couldn't believe what I was saying.
See, isn't that a bit like having roast potatoes on toast?
That's the one. That's the winner. That's the winner. I was going with Rob Hunt for his vegan cheese on toast stuff. But no, McCurdy for spag bowl on pizza.
Yeah, sure. It's just weird. I can't get my head around it.
Wait, it could even be me.
Go on.
I don't like cheese.
Oh.
So I have a pizza without cheese.
No.
What, just toppings on?
Yeah, so just the base, the tomato sauce, and then the toppings.
No, hold on. No. This is revolutionary speech now. I'm hearing you can't have a pizza with no cheese.
There are no cheese. I don't eat cheese. I don't like cheese. It's not for me. Made me ill once, like proper ill. So I just stopped eating it.
Steve, I'm not being funny. Like that's properly like come out of left field for me. I can't comprehend it. The stuff I want to keep talking about a pizza with no cheese on it, mate. But
when we go for Fratello's,
yeah,
they do the Di Canio pizza, and one of the options is no cheese because Paolo Di Canio didn't have cheese on his pizzas.
Oh no, come on!
That's serious. Ask the guy when we go there. You ask him. I'll tell you.
Well, look, all I'm going to say is, mate, they better load it up. That's all I'm going to say. There's got to be a lot of topping on there.
Because you ain't got any cheese, you get all the extra toppings. They go to town on it.
Now we're making sense. That's one way to get your extra sausage on your
So
pizza,
there you go.
isn't it?
See,
Right. Next question, Steve. Now you can interpret this however you want.
go on.
In amongst the current squad, who is the biggest dark horse?
Oh God, biggest dark horse. Oh. Jordan Lydon, and that's all I'm saying.
Jordan Light. And all right, we won't push you on that. All I'm going to say is he's Mrs. Hanrahan's favourite. That's all I'm going to add to what you've just said there. Yeah. And Steve, if you know something I don't know, bearing in mind the good lady's not in the room with me at the moment, then we should probably have that conversation. Tyler, what do you think they're angling at there with Dark Horse?
Well, it's not my forte to get involved with there, mate.
That's going to be card schooling, Steve, and stuff like that. I reckon. Do the boys have a card school?
No.
So they don't play cards. That's good. No. I like that because
we play a lot of pool.
Morale.
We play a lot of pool.
Oh, okay. So who's a hustler? Is any of them an absolute bandit?
Jordan Lydon.
Oh. So Lydon staggers up to the table, does he, pretending that he's going to, all a bit gammy, left-handed, and then just wipes the floor? And
then he wipes the floor, yeah. So, yeah.
Jordan Lydon, you absolute rogue. If he's on social media, I'll be taking issue with him right now. Oh, I think we know the answer to the next one. Go on, Ty.
Oh, best physique.
Oh.
Is it just players that have been here this season, or have they still got to be here?
Oh, see, yeah, I know you're thinking. You're thinking Big Ty, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So you know who I'm thinking, Steve? I'm thinking Tarzan. I'm thinking Big
Dave. That's
Big
where
Dave.
I was.
He's an absolute unit.
Yeah. Josh
Davison. Okay, so interesting. So the next question is actually, what does Josh Davison eat, and where can I get some? So that listener is clearly impressed.
God knows. I don't know. Him and Reedy are together all the time. So wherever Reedy goes, usually Josh is with him. So, but I don't know where they go. I don't know.
Well, it certainly ain't to the barbers, is it? In the case of Josh Davison, he's got absolutely spectacular locks.
No, he did yesterday, and he cuts like the under bit and ties it up. And the geezer forgot to blend one side of it.
God!
So he was absolutely chuffed, the boy. He still looks unbelievable, though, doesn't he?
Well, not being funny, as soon as that's it. He's another chap. He's got that swagger as well. I need to keep Mrs. Hanrahan well away from Josh Davison because, by God, at the end of the game when he let those locks down, it was like looking at prime David Ginola.
Yeah.
Swishing him around in the air.
His hair's great.
Handsome man. Right, Ty, what we got next?
Oh God, this one could be interesting. Who would you say is the biggest slacker?
Oh, I don't know. Is it? Oh, I don't know. Biggest slacker in terms of what?
Whatever you want, mate.
Biggest slacker. I don't know.
Who's got a reputation for being the worst trainer, Steve? Are you allowed to say?
No one. Well, they're all good.
They all put it in.
I'll tell you, he was there last night, and he's a great kid, and I love him. Right, he's brilliant, the boy. But Kane cares raising. He'd walk through training and then be an absolute genius on a Saturday afternoon. So I'd be like, where's this come from? Unbelievable. Yeah, what a lad. Absolutely brilliant.
Destined for the top, isn't he? Kane Kessler-Hayden. Destined for the top.
Unbelievable.
Brilliant with the fans, and you got the impression he was super popular amongst his teammates as well. How much would you say of all the lone players that we've lost, with all due respect to Roms and Ty, do you think that Kane has been the biggest miss?
For the team, I don't know, because we obviously had to adapt the way we played because we didn't have him there to be the right wing back, but I don't know. They're all big losses because they're all big characters,
Yeah,
it's difficult to.
Very difficult to replace the 11 goals, Steve, isn't it?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And Josh has come in and done brilliantly. But again, he's a different player to Tyrese, so you can't really compare. And then, like, obviously, Joe Tomlinson's come in and done really well. And then, you know, he's got injured now, and you know he needs to get himself back and do what's right for him. I'll tell you one who is a big miss, who wasn't with us very long, but Brandon Cooper.
Oh, what a player!
I thought he was taking us all the way to automatics, and I've told him that.
Yeah.
I thought this is the guy. He's taking us all the way. We're going to get promoted because this guy's unbelievable. How we got him was anyone's guess. And yeah, for him to get injured and have to step away was, yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, and he was really, for my money, he was really bringing the best out of Jake O'Brien as well.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, it's fair to say, Jake, I'm sure he'd be the first one to admit some of his performances have been a bit hit and miss since we've lost Brendan Cooper. But Brendan Seaver, him and O'Brien were forming an absolutely phenomenal looking partnership at the back, weren't they, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, they were both. They're both young, so you thought it lacked a leader, but Christ, Cooper knew how to shout at people, didn't he? Especially with that thick Welsh accent he has. Oh, he if he shouted at me, I'd do it.
On the flip side of that, though, how good have Frenchie and Dion been the last few weeks?
So good, so good. Especially Frenchie, pre-assist yesterday and a key involvement in the first one. Baller.
Yeah, absolute top class. That diagonal last night, by the way, talk to me about that for the second goal.
Well, what is that to say?
I wasn't even out there for the second goal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool. I don't necessarily want to go down a rabbit hole of taking on, you know, some of our fellow fans and the views on those two boys, but it's not gone amiss, Steve. I'm sure you've probably seen it on the socials today about people coming out and sort of suggesting that, you know, if this is Matt Bowdery's form between now and the end of the season, give him another year. I mean, he's looked absolutely phenomenal last couple of games. Absolutely top draw. And I'm reliably informed he's a top bloke behind the scenes as well.
I mean, he's been with us 3 years now. I love the guy. He's like one of the top boys. But I think it'll be up to him. Do you know what I mean? I think if he wants to carry on, then, you know, I don't see any reason why he couldn't. But it's up to him. If he feels like this is it for him, then it'll be it for him. If not, and even if he doesn't get something at Swindon, he could probably do another year somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's up to him, really. I think.
Steve, I'll tell you what surprised me. There's obviously all the talk is that, you know, he's going to go for his financial qualifications and that's what the future looks like for him. But I remember thinking when he's coming under Wellens, the first time I heard Frenchie speak, like, because I love the way he talks about football, refreshingly honest, and he's certainly got footballing principles. I honestly thought the Frenchie would go down the coaching and management route because he seems to have that sort of aura about him. But it would appear that his ambitions are going to mean he's going to be lost to the game.
Yeah, I think so. Funny story about Frenchie, actually. The day we met him, so we are down in Southampton doing some fitness testing and stuff, and we pulled up in this car park. We're carrying some kit in and that, and one player turns up. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Steve. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Rob Hunt. Okay, that makes sense. Next guy comes up. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Steve. Hello, I'm Frenchie. Sorry, what, you want us to call you Frenchie? Oh yeah, Frenchie. Yeah. So then I had to go and find out what his actual name was. Yeah. When we got into the building, I was like, he says Frenchie, but I know we haven't signed anyone called Frenchie, so what are we doing? But yeah, there you go. And now, literally, like anyone he meets, he's Frenchie. There's no
awkward introductions. Yeah, mate. Don't worry, it's not like I've got to put your name on the back of your shirt or anything like that. Right, what we got next then? Who sleeps the most, Steve?
God, don't know. Louis Barry always looks like he's been asleep. He comes in the morning and he looks like he's just rolled out of bed. He's always looking tired. So I'm going to go with Louis Barry.
Louis Barry. Fair dues. Are the boys sort of fairly lively on the coach the game, Steve, or is there anyone that sort of is able to sleep on a clothesline, so to speak?
We used to go on the coach, me and Jonah, but now we take the van to every game.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it or, have any kind of knowledge of what's going on. I mean, Jake's listening in, and Jake's on the coach most games, so he might be able to tell you. But
see, it's not a safe place to fall asleep, is it? Let's be honest.
Oh no, don't fall asleep on the coach.
Nah. That's
no.
Well,
you
Jake,
can't be doing that.
If Jake wants to come on and share any stories about who's grabbing a kip on the coach, he's more than welcome to send us a request, and we'll hear all his war stories. What we got next, Ty?
So this one you can definitely answer. Who is the worst for leaving their kit inside out?
Oh, Carlton.
Oh wow. The skipper, Dion Conroy, always inside out. we have a guess. We pick it up and we go, whose kit could this be? And then we flip it in the right way. Oh look, number 4.
He always likes he likes the bottom cut off his shirt as well, don't he?
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
I have to cut 1/4 of an inch off the bottom of every shirt he ever wears.
Is there an explanation for that? Is that just a length thing?
Who knows? I don't know.
So
you just asked me to do it.
You imagine the skipper comes and gives you a shirt at the end of the game. You're going to feel a little bit short-changed, aren't you? Like getting back in the car and going, oh, look, I've got the skipper's... Oh, he's vandalised it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
bang goes your eBay resale value.
Probably be worth more, because there's a story behind it. I don't know what the story is. But...
Is he a superstitious man, the skipper?
Yeah, I think so. In terms of that, yeah. I don't know what else it could be. I don't know. I need to find out, to be fair. I need to ask him. In the 3.5 years I've been doing a job, I probably should have asked by now.
Tyler, there's a job for you, mate. Barrow, Saturday, come and skip. Why'd you do
it? Mate, if I remember.
Straight into any other business on that one, on the next show. All right, Steve. The next question is, who is the biggest rascal? Now, I think that could be Practical Joker. That could be, that could be just your wind-up merchant. Who's the most? That could be the most annoying. I think rascal's a nice broad term.
There's the obvious one.
Yes.
No.
Very obvious.
Is he a rascal? Is he a proper rascal in the dressing room?
Not so much in the dressing room. He's all right. But here's what he like. It's what you see is what you get. There's no messing around with him. He ain't pretending to be one thing and then being another. He is what he is. But another one, Ricky Aguirre.
Oh, mate.
Interesting.
He loves a bit.
He was on that one that you did with Jake when you were doing the water thing in the cup, and all you can hear in the background is him. He's proper, mate. He is like you, Mark. He the way he says "geese" is unreal.
Yeah, Ricky Boyer, he's the one.
Yes, geese.
Have you got a story you can share, Steve?
Oh no, just every day. It's just you're playing pool and you'll take a shot, and whether it's good or it's not, it'll just go shots. And it'll be like the other guy will miss, and it'll be your turn, and it'll go, should clear up here. You should absolutely clear up here. It should be the end of the game. And he just gets in your head. And you're like, go away, mate. Just I know, he's absolutely brilliant. He's brilliant.
Sharpening up his gamesmanship. A slightly more serious question, this next one. Who would you say is the dressing room leader? And by that, I get you've got the skipper, but is there like the one sort of Gordon Greer kind of voice that he just comes in and everyone sort of shuts up and listens?
It's kind of a group thing this year. I mean, obviously you've got like Frenchie's got the experience and, is a leader because people tend to follow him. You've got Glads in there with a bit of experience. You've got Payne in there. He's quite good with it. Obviously Dion's the captain, so he has a role to play in it. But no, it's more a group thing this year, rather than one person that's, that's the guy. But yeah.
Yeah. So and would you regard? It sounds like, Steve, you really you highly regard our leadership group. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, it's interesting actually, Steve. I remember seeing it relatively close quarters back in 2010 when the leadership group that was really kind of ultimately held together by Gordon Greer, when Gordy left, watching that disintegrate and then seeing the impact of that the following season when a team that got to Wembley that looked like it had actually to a point been improved with certain signings before the season, on paper at least, then obviously cascaded out the league. And it all fell apart. And some of the conversations that we've had with members of that squad were saying that, obviously a lot of that came from the disintegration of that leadership group. Like the people that sort of stepped into the breach didn't quite do the job that Goldie did. And then cliques started to form and all of that kind of stuff. But certainly the impression that I've had from the stands and from the time that I've met the lads, they all come across as a really, really good bunch of lads. And that it doesn't seem like you've got many shrinking violets in that squad either.
No, not at all. I think as well, the environment that's been created by the gaffer and the coaching staff, and the new ownership and everything else, it allows the lads to kind of feel that they're in some kind of control and some kind of like responsibility for what happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're all like it. So if one of them sees something, they can say to somebody else. It's not a particular person's got to say something. I think it's a case of, well, if someone's seen something, if the left back's seen something the left midfielder should be doing, then they can talk about it and they can say and they can help each other. And I think that's quite important, is that everyone's there trying to help each other to get better. There's nobody being kind of negative, and it's very much a group thing. But I think that's driven by the environment that's been created.
Super. Ty, do you want the next one?
Yeah, bit of a weird one, really, but
let's just say, Steve, I envy this next one.
Definitely.
There's your clue.
Who is the hairiest teammate?
Hairiest?
Hairiest. You can see why Mark envies them.
Well, yeah. I don't know. If you asked me last year, it would have been Brett Pitman. But, I don't know. No one's really hairy this year. No, there's no hairy people. I mean, Josh has obviously got long hair. And Harry's got whatever he's got on his head.
He's got a mane. I want to go back and talk about it again. The man's got a mane. It's spectacular.
Yeah, so we'll have to go with Josh Davison then, just because of the hair.
Johnny's got all the hair on his chin instead of his head.
Yeah, that's true.
We can go back to that question. That's a question that we can ask, Steve, isn't it?
Well,
so would you rather have Jojo's hair for your beard or Johnny's beard for your hair?
Oh, wow.
Oh, God, that's...
I don't know, because I've got hair and a beard, so I'm not too worried. I don't know. Probably can I have Johnny's beard?
Johnny's beard for your hair?
As my beard.
No, you can't do that. That's just cheating, because everybody with their head screwed on would want a Johnny Williams beard if they could grow one.
Okay, we'll go with Jojo's hair for your beard.
Interesting. And why is that?
No real reason. Just don't know. That's what I've gone with for whatever reason. I don't really know what.
I want it the other way round, Steve. I've got to tell you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Who saw that coming?
I'd look like something. I'd look like something out of.
I don't know if beggars can be choosers, mate. Do you know what I
mean? Listen, as I tell my kids, I've got hair on my head. I just choose to remove what grows. Simple as that. Enough. And there's been a lot of migration. That's all I'm going to say. But it's still on my body. Right then, we go on from hairiest teammate onto whose kit typically requires 2 washes, Steve.
Johnny Williams.
Oh, you dirty bugger.
His shorts are covered in mud after every game. because he just gets kicked all over the place and pushed over all the time. And he
So
slides along the floor.
Do you have to use any special formula to get that out? Is there any special tricks you can teach
what
us?
What have I done this year? We've put boiling water in a bath and dunked them in a bath with a load of Vanish, left them for an hour, dunked them in the other bath in fresh water, and then back across to the other one, and then back again, and then washed them on a 60. And still, I think 3 pairs. Where was that?
Probably Barrow, surely.
Yeah, I think it was Barrow. Yeah, and 3 pairs still we couldn't get clean. Ellis Andalo as well. His shorts are always covered in mud. I don't know how, but his shorts are always covered in mud.
Yeah, well, he's full guns, mate, isn't he? He's full guns, Ellis. That's the thing. He's wholehearted, mate. If there's a tackle to be won, he's putting himself in there, and he's another one that people like to foul.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you get the impression that obviously we're a very technical side in this division. You do get the impression our midfield is does get it gets some pretty rough treatment. Do the boys ever have a good moan at you about that, Steve, or is it just because I'm looking at it through rose tinted glasses?
It's part of the game, isn't it? And I guess you got to look at it from the opposition point of view. If you're turning up and you're playing against Lewis Reed, Jack Payne, and Johnny Williams as your 3 midfielders, you ain't going to outplay them, are you? Do you know what I mean?
No, very true.
Especially in League Two, they're looking at it going, how am I going to stop them? What am I going to do? You know? And then you've got Harry McCurdy running on you, and, you know? So, yeah, I think they just come with a little tactic, don't they?
Yeah, the old fashioned reducer.
But that's the game, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very true indeed. What we got next, Ty?
So, who would you say is the most helpful teammate? And then another question to add on to that: who's been the most sort of welcoming with all the TikTok stuff you two do?
Reedy's all over it. Reedy loves the TikTok.
It's just thought of the day.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's some of it's so silly.
Yeah, but it's brilliant.
It is brilliant. It's brilliant, but it's so silly.
Reedy loves the TikTok.
What's been your favourite, Steve?
What's
been your favourite thought of the day?
Oh, favourite thought of the day. The boxing ring one. If a boxing ring is truly a ring, why is it square?
No, I think for me it was the one with the you can move your bottom jaw, but you can't move your top one.
When he goes, "You're doing it."
I
showed that one to my mum, and she started doing it, and I found that really funny.
Oh, brilliant.
See, I just jumped straight on the jumped straight on the GIFs, and got the Canadians in South Park talking. I said, well, the Canadians can all talk with the upper part of their mouth. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's good. It's good. Who's most helpful? Rob Hunt.
Of course he is.
What a guy.
Have you got a story of Rob Hunt at his most helpful, Steve?
He's just never lost a piece of kit. 3 years, not one item been lost. Not one. Incredible.
Does that include giving his shirts away? Is he quite tight with his shirts?
Yeah. He'll ask first. And then all of his kit's in the right way. It's all laid out on the floor in front of him so that we can just scoop it up. There's not a pile of it all rolled into a ball. The shirts are in the right way, shorts, socks, all of it.
Oh, what a gentleman. What an absolute gentleman. He could come and teach my kids a few tricks. I've been doing their bloody washing all day, Steve. I don't mind telling you. Yeah. I've had an absolute bloody mountain of rolled up socks and boxer shorts that I've had to pick my way through. And bearing in mind my kids are all teenagers, that's no fun at all.
Yeah, that's not fun, is it?
No, it's not. So fair play to you, Rob Hunt. Salute you on that. What we got next? Who's got the worst banter, Steve? Who's got the worst banter?
They'll all say me. So I'll say me. In terms of players, they're all pretty sharp, What am I thinking? Who's got the worst banter player-wise? Going through the squad numbers in my head.
Goalkeepers banter, mate. Come on, surely it's one of the keepers.
Yeah, I was thinking
our
Jojo,
banter
to
is
be
from-
fair, because Jojo just likes to jump in with Jonah and try and banter me on a daily basis. And it's, oh, God, it's tedious at best. And he's not here to defend himself, so I can say what I want. Yeah, it's tedious. Let's be honest.
It wasn't quite banter, but I did enjoy his address to the president of Ghana. That was pretty special, wasn't it? In terms of, I think if you looked at that through Swindon Town fan glasses, that was top banter. Yeah. Mr. President, Joseph Woolacott, Swindon Town, and the whole room erupts. Now that is quality banter.
Mate, you know, I only found out today that Jojo has a twin brother.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said it on a bit of Ghanaian press. I couldn't believe it. He said that he has a twin brother who works for BMW fixing motorbikes.
Oh, wow. Right, so here's a challenge. If any of our readers, listeners, you can tell I come from a magazine background. If any of our listeners can find a picture of Jojo Woolacott's brother, and we absolutely can confirm he's got a twin. There is a Sir Tom Broadbent Lounge hoodie in it for you. I've got to see this man. And what I'd like to know is he a goalkeeper? That's what I'd like to know. Steve, that's a question you're going to have to pose him.
Sorry.
No. Yes, that's all right, mate. I just want to know. I want you to make sure you ask Jojo whether or not his twin brother, is a goalkeeper.
I will. I'll ask him if he's even got a twin brother or if he just made it up.
That's extraordinary banter.
If he's made that up for Ghanaian press, that's unreal.
I have no idea.
Right, what we got next? Right, we've actually just received another question, Steve. Bear with me. It's coming from Sam Hart is asking, after last night, is Jack Payne still running?
Yeah, he's still going. Yeah. In fact, hang on. If I look out the window, yeah, there he is. No, obviously, he's now stopped running, and he's had a little rest, and hopefully he'll start running again on Saturday.
Right, boys. Sorry, I'm being a little bit hesitant because you never guess what. I am looking at a picture of Tom Woolacott in Disneyland Paris.
Hold on. Steve, I've just been asked. Let me get this question up for you. It's just for you, mate. Who is a bigger moaner, you or Lewis Ward?
Sorry, I've missed.
Who's a bigger
No,
moaner,
I missed it.
You or Lewis Ward?
Go again. My signal went.
Who is a bigger moaner?
Well, where's that come from?
Or Lewis Ward?
Does that come from Jake?
I'm not saying who that's come from.
From Jonah. But then Jonah's... No, it's not Jonah. I just want to know who it comes from, really. Who's a bigger moaner? Obviously me. Obviously me.
What do you like to moan about, Steve? What do you moan
everything. About? It's relentless. You put your stuff in the wrong place. I'm moaning at you. It's... I mean, like, it's the job, isn't it?
Steve, I don't think you have moaned at me once, mate. In all the time I've known you, you come across as quite a gregarious personality. You're not a mood drain.
No, I'm not. But you know, all the guys at the club think so. So you've got to play the character, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you got to play your part, haven't you?
Yeah, you're just taking one for the team. You're the pantomime villain.
Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. If they think I'm a moaner, I'll be a moaner. It's all good.
Right, but guys, back to the subject at hand. I'm staring at a picture of Tom Woolacott.
Unbelievable.
Does he look like Jojo? Or
he does look like Jojo.
Unreal.
I think I don't mean to be. I'm not being rude or disrespectful about Tom. If I said he doesn't give the impression he's a professional athlete, but
no. He's a mechanic, pal.
He's a mechanic. He's fixing bikes for BMW. Fair play to him.
Fair play.
Well, I never. Right, Joe Vincent, congratulations, Joe. I'll get your details off you. We'll get your hoodie off to you, fella. Great work.
How someone found that so quick?
The fact that was so quick has terrified me at point.
Joe, you know something or someone we don't, clearly. Right. So sorry, you've had biggest moaner, have you? Right. Okay. What we got? Here's one. So Harry McCurdy doesn't lace his boots. Apparently, how does he avoid them flying off? Steve, is there a bit of magic going on there?
I don't know what. He doesn't have insoles either, so how he runs
That must
and
be
how
so uncomfy.
it's so hard. I clean his boots. I put my hand in the boot. It hurts my hand. I don't know how he does it, but
Like running on a cheese grater.
yeah, I don't know how he does it, but it seems to be working for him. So he can carry on not lacing his boots and not wearing insoles if he wants. Do you know what I mean? But no, he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know how he keeps them on. Maybe they're half size too small, so they're tight and they stay on.
God, yeah, but blimey, I mean, I just can't see how that works. It's bad enough trying to run in trainers when you haven't done your laces up, let alone football boots.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Idea. Move us on, Ty.
So this is an interesting one. What would you say, or who would you say, is the biggest breath of fresh air in 2021-22?
Biggest breath of fresh air. What or who? Those new footballs that we've got this year instead of mitre ones. They're unbelievable. They're definitely that's not. They're awful. I don't know. Breath of fresh air. Probably like. I tell you what was good. We received a Lawrence Vigouroux shirt in the post yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. And it's no secret that when Viggs was with us, you know, he was obviously young, influential, not having a great time, blah, blah, blah. And he seems to just have turned his life around, an absolute top bloke. When obviously we played Orient a couple of weeks back, he come found us, said hello. He was really polite, really nice, just absolutely a different bloke to what we knew from previous. Yeah. And then that turning up in the post the other day, that for me was like, wow, look at this guy. What a turnaround, you know?
And I'll tell you what was interesting as well, Steve, talking about Viggs was I wouldn't say he got dog's abuse from the town end a couple of weeks back, but he was getting a bit of stick. And I was standing there expecting the kind of reactions that you got from the young Lawrence. Yeah. And there was none of that at all. No. If anything, he turned around and gave everyone a thumbs up at the end of the game. He seemed to be wishing us all well. And yeah, as like you said, mate, it's he seems like I don't want to call him a reformed character because I don't think he was a bad lad, was he?
No, I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying, like, you know, he was at a bit of a crossroads when he left us, wasn't
he? Yeah.
You know, and he seems to have taken the correct path, which is great. It's great to see for him. So yeah, in terms of breath of fresh air, seeing stuff like that, brilliant. In terms of our team, I don't know. Josh Davison coming in, I think just because like we had lost Tyler and we didn't know what we were going to do, and like, you know, we were a bit worried about not having a centre forward, if you like. And when he come in, and he's such a bubbly character, and he's, you know, he comes in every day, he gives you a big hug, and he's, you know, yeah, he certainly picks you up if you're not having the best morning. I know that.
All round top bloke.
Yeah.
Right, you are. Who we got next? What we got next? Right, here's one. Who is the most charitable teammate?
Oh, charitable. So who helps others? Ben Gladwin, I think.
Gladders, what a boy! What an answer!
Yeah,
there's got to be a story behind that.
It was Caroline's birthday yesterday. She's a receptionist at the club, and she loves Ben Gladwin. Who doesn't? And he signed a program for her. He said, "Get one of my shirts. I'm going to sign it and give her the shirt and that kind of stuff." And he was just, top draw.
What a man! Handsome looking devil as well, by the way.
Yeah.
I never said that.
No, I never agreed.
No.
Come on, Ty, move us along.
Oh, well, no, I could talk about Gladwin for days. You know that.
Well, keep talking then. If you've got something valuable to say,
he is just different gravy. I love that man. Who would you say though is the shyest of the bunch?
Oh, here we go. Mo Dabray.
Oh, bless him.
There you go. That's an easy one. Because I was going to say Ryan East, but he wouldn't like me saying that, so I won't say that.
Is with Mo? Is that just a question of him being sort of young and just generally?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and he's definitely not shy when he gets on the pitch.
Oh no, he's not, is he?
No, but just around the place, he's a bit quieter. He's a really nice kid. Like really, really nice kid.
I've seen enough from Mo Darbraid. I think over the next couple of seasons you're going to see a hell of a player emerge there, and I can imagine him coming into the middle as well. Only because I've got a little bit of inside knowledge on that. But hey, so Steve, my inside knowledge, if you're interested on Mo Darbraid, so essentially he has by proxy played football with my kid. You know the whole the whole Valencia Academy thing is obviously just down the road from where I am.
Yeah.
And had a little natter with Mo about that a few weeks back. And that was he was absolute dynamite in like a defensive holding midfield role. I appreciate we're talking about academy football versus the pro game, but the way he was described to me by a coach was he's like a little Kante. But obviously, when we've seen him, we've seen him as a kind of like a marauding wide man, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah, I can see that he's got attributes to play in there as well. Like, yeah, and I'd heard that he had played there before as well. Like, but yeah, no, he's a good kid. I like that.
You're going to like the next one, Steve. Who is the squad nerd?
Oh, Wardy. Wardy. If we go a day without talking about Lego, there's something wrong.
What, like any Lego? Are we talking Lego Technic or are we talking Star Wars Lego? What are we talking?
So he loves Star Wars, obviously. And has all the Lego sets. I've got some of the Harry Potter Lego sets, and he goes off and he's like, oh, I was in a shop and I saw some Lego, so I bought this. And then I went to London with my missus and kid a little while back, went in Hamleys, obviously went to the top floor, had a look around all the Lego. We love Lego. We watch Lego Masters. We talk about that.
I genuinely thought you were going to tell me. I thought you were going to tell me you bumped into him on the top floor of Hamleys.
No, how funny would that have been?
But that would have been
unreal.
Small world. Oh, Ty, you're going to like the next one, mate. This you've got this one, mate.
But hold on. To be fair though, can you blame him for liking Lego? It is good
brilliant
stuff.
It's unbelievable.
It's very good stuff. Bit expensive, but.
See, this is one of those moments where the credibility of our show is either going off like a rocket or it's disappearing down the toilet rapidly, gentlemen.
Well, let's move on then.
For what it's worth, I got bought a ton of Lego at Christmas this year. It's the first time anyone's ever bought me Lego, and I can't bring myself to sit down at a table and do it. And I don't know whether that's a shocking indictment on me or whether I just need to give it. It's a bit like skiing. I won't ski. I've got no. It doesn't appeal. So what am I missing, boys? You tell me.
Well, Hannah's mate, bring someone Saturday and we can sit and do it before the game.
Mate, there's Guinness to be drunk on a Saturday. I'm not going to sit there playing with me Lego.
Even better, Guinness and Lego. Who doesn't want that?
Oh my God! All right, I'll tell you what.
Get involved as well.
All right, I'm going to do that. Now you've said that, I guarantee you, and to anyone listening, that's going to happen on Saturday. I'm going to bring my Christmas Lego to the Legends Lounge, and we're going to do a world first at Swindon Town Football Club. You and I are going to sit and build some Lego whilst I drink Guinness. And we're going to do that before a match. I've never thought of doing anything quite as bizarre as that in my life. But hey, Tyler, listen, your reputation's on the line. You're telling me I'm going to have a good time? I better have a good time.
Steve will agree with me. You'll have a great time.
Oh, you'll have a great time.
Steve, do me a favour. Just bring one of the kit sacks, mate, because I reckon after about 5 pieces, I'm just going to swipe it all into the bag and we'll give it to Wardy.
Yeah, fair enough. He wouldn't mind.
So Who is, Steve? Who is your hardest? Who is the hardest squad mate?
Hardest.
Who's hard as nails?
Who's hard as nails? Reedy. Reedy loves a tackle, doesn't he? He loves a tackle.
Yeah.
But who's hard as nails?
For a little lad, he don't shirk much, does he? He really doesn't.
No, he really don't.
But Ellis is quite tough, and I tell you what, after last night, Johnny Williams clearly likes a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but no, Ellis maybe Frenchie.
I can imagine Frenchie.
He's a warrior, isn't
he? Do you reckon Frenchie's all about the dark arts? Because you kind of certainly you see a bit of game management from him, but do you reckon he's the kind of bloke that's pulling up the opponents by their armpit hair and doing all that kind of horrible stuff?
Yeah, I can see that.
See, Granty was double hard. We could talk about Granty because he's part of this year's squad. Granty was a tough guy.
Yeah, I mean, on the pitch. I remember a game, right? So the year we got promoted, when we won the league, he's playing centre mid for us, and Harry McCurdy was playing for Carlisle, and he just kicked him all over the pitch. He just, oh my God, he had him on toast. It was awful, to the point where Harry's asking to be subbed at halftime. So then he subbed him at halftime as well, and then the day he came in on trial in pre-season, I was like, oh my God, it's you. and then he turned around and Granty was stood behind him, and it was a brilliant moment. I was just like, oh, here we go.
Absolutely magnificent. It was obviously Granty got brilliant reception, didn't he? When he came back for the Scunthorpe defeat a few weeks back, he was in absolute bits, wasn't he? As he left the pitch, did you manage to spend much time with him, Steve?
I saw him a bit. Yeah, we had a little chat in the tunnel before the game, and a little chat before he left. I mean, obviously, when you spend as long with the guys each year as we do, like, you make relationships with these people.
Yeah.
No matter what happened, like, and whether you have a good year, you have a bad year, you have an indifferent year like he did this year. You have that relationship with these people, and it was nice to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real shame. I mean, a real shame at seeing his side drop out of the league. I mean, not just for Granty, but Scunthorpe, proper decent old traditional club. Seeing them tumble out of the Football League was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. What's that, 72 years or something?
Yeah,
that they've been in the Football League. So, and whenever we've been there, like, it's a good sized club. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, you go to some clubs and you're like, oh my God, But yeah, no, it's Scunthorpe. They were in the Championship a little while back. Nigel Adkins is their manager, and pushed right up to the champ, and to drop out of the Football League, tough.
I think it's going to be one of the, I mean, I don't know enough about the club really to comment, but I do remember probably around mid-2000s knowing a couple of the people that were involved as directors, and you got the impression there was a bit of money sloshing about back then when they managed to push up to the Championship. But and it would suggest that maybe that money's not there anymore, clearly, because you don't tend to have clubs with a bit of money behind them dropping out the leagues, do you?
No, that's it. And obviously, Oldham are in the situation Oldham are in.
Yeah.
And that's another massive club, first club to go from Premier League to non-league.
Yeah. But do you know what, Steve? I mean, again, I really feel for the fans. I mean, there was obviously a lot of really good link up between Swindon and Oldham fans earlier in the season, so I've got every sympathy. But at the same time, zero sympathy for the manager. I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt until he decided to raise his middle finger at the end of the game. I thought he would have taken that one on the chin, but clearly not. So, karma's a bitch, as they say, ladies and gentlemen. Karma's a bitch. What we got next, Ty?
Who is the most hyper in the dressing room?
Harry McCurdy.
I would have thought so.
Is he properly bouncing about? Is he, mate? He's like uncontrollable bags of energy.
Yeah, he's always full of energy. Like, you see him in the corridor and he's just bouncing around. He gives you the big high five. All right, geez, how's things? Come on. All the time. Yeah.
Outstanding. We're coming to the end now, mate. You'll be pleased to know. I've got one for you. Who is most likely to become a millionaire, or if they already are, a multi-millionaire?
What, of our current squad?
Yes.
Oh, Frenchie. Just because he never spends a penny. Ever. Ever. Like the sliders he wears on his feet when he has a shower. They're Umbro sliders that belong to Tyrese Simpson.
Oh, man.
And he left them, and now Frenchie wears them every day as his sliders, so he doesn't have to go and buy any. Look after the pennies. Can't take care of themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, has he ever uttered that phrase to you?
I don't know if he knows it, but yeah, that is Frenchie in a nutshell.
So there you are. I genuinely thought you was going to turn around and say, yeah, his career in finance, he's super, super clever.
Basically, that as well, obviously. But, he's obviously had his eyes on the pennies and the pounds for quite a while.
So you're suggesting stick a bit of coal up his backside and in 2 weeks we're going to have a diamond?
Yeah, maybe. But, no, I can't remember if he's ever bought any new football boots, to be honest with you. They're all hand-me-downs.
Oh, my God.
But who cares when he's playing like he's playing at the moment? Do you know what I mean?
That's a very, very good point. Who's so if his boots are hand-me-down, Steve, who do you suspect, or do you know whose boots is he wearing?
Oh, come on. I think one pair might have even belonged to Tom Broadbent at one point.
He's wearing Broady's boots.
At one point,
disgrace.
At one point, I think there's a blue pair of Nikes. What are they? Phantoms, I think. I think they belong to Broady at some stage. But there you go.
I'm lost for words. I'm
we could do the
absolutely
pair in
lost for
Oxford,
words.
see? Frenchie will do the same thing.
Who's got? So speaking of boots, Steve, who has got the worst boots? The worst boots at the club.
The worst boots. I thought you were going to say who's got the most boots. But who's got the worst boots?
Like proper old. Do you remember the old Dunlop mouldeds? Who's got like proper budget boots that they get dug out for, or have they all got a certain standard?
Well, at one stage this season, Harry Parsons was wearing a pair of boots that, like, the sole plate had fallen off. Massive holes in them. He was kicking the ball and his foot was coming through the boot. And we were like, mate, you've got to get some new boots. You've got to do it. And eventually, with enough pressure, he went and got some new pairs of boots.
Good effort.
But, yeah.
But nobody gets dug out for, like, essentially having quite clearly raided the professional footballer's boot equivalent of the jumble sale. Yeah, apart from Frenchie.
Only Frenchie, really. Yeah.
Oh, that's shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Everybody else is quite good with their boots, to be honest.
All right, so which teammate would buy the first round, Steve?
Oh. Johnny Williams.
Is he really like the Archbishop of Banterbury when it comes to, like, the football dressing room? Because that gets bounded around quite a lot about him. The fact that, he's a huge part of the kind of, like, the setting of the atmosphere amongst the Welsh boys, and he's clearly he talk about gregarious characters. He's clearly one of those. So what's in that? What is that about Johnny?
I tell you what, it's weird with Johnny because he's quiet and unassuming, and then things will just happen or things will be said, and then you'll be like, "Oh, hang on, where did this come from? Oh, it's Johnny." So yeah, like, no, he's brilliant, and he'll come in with, like, he'll have some different thing to say in the morning, and he'll be like, "What are you talking about today?" Yeah, he's just like, he's really quiet, so you don't think there's going to be anything come from him, and then, yeah, absolutely priceless, brilliant for him.
Ah, super. Go on, Ty. What's the next one? Your penultimate question, Steve.
Well, it's not the penultimate. I've got a couple of my own.
Oh, have you?
Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Which teammate would be most likely to go into space?
Bloody hell. Ryan East.
Oh, now I weren't expecting Easty. Go on, Steve.
I have no reason for it. I think it would be a funny image. See Ryan East dressed up as a spaceman off to Mars. Do you know what I mean? and come back and
Well,
tell us how great it was.
Well, if Elon Musk can strap a car to a rocket and send it into space, mate,
There you go.
maybe Ben Garner's thinking along similar lines, like
Well,
spread the Swindon word to the extraterrestrial masses by sending Ryan East up tied to a rocket.
or
Interesting.
AK, because that'd be brilliant. Because he'd just come back and go, "Yeah, it was all right." How was space, AK? Yeah, it was okay, mate. Yeah, it was all right.
What's that lunar sunrise look like, AK? Yeah.
It's okay, mate. I love AK. What a guy!
The most laid-back man at Swindon Town, I hear.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Speaking of him, he's got the best tattoo of the lot at this club. He's got Pikachu on his arm, and that is unbelievable.
He never has.
Yeah, he's got it on his left arm. I noticed it the other day.
I got a lot of questions to ask in the morning. And
Yeah,
I see your Pikachu tattoo. Crazy.
I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say.
You
He's got
fucking rounded
Pikachu
it all
on his
up.
arm.
Yeah, I found it out the other day when I was looking through the gallery.
Oh, Steve,
Couldn't believe it.
We need answers here, mate. We need to know what. So he's clearly a Pokemon fan, but then I guess that's not a crime, is it? Because Pokemon's getting a bit old.
That's a great thing.
Now, there's other people that are Pokemon fans in the squad.
Oh,
they're just trading cards mid-game.
Do you care to elaborate, Steve?
Wardy loves Pokemon.
Of course he does.
And there's nothing wrong with it. He comes in with his Nintendo Switch playing Pokemon. I love it. How great is that?
I can't compete. So, okay. So we got Lego and Pokemon in the Legends Lounge, Ty, by the sound of it on Saturday. Good God. All right. Steve, my final question for you. Who is the biggest conspiracy theorist in the squad?
Oh, God. Who? I'm going to go with Harry McCurdy.
Interesting.
Just because he thinks COVID's made up, and he's told me a million times how it ain't real.
He's not alone, to be fair.
I said, mate, I've got it. I'm sat at home. My whole family have got it. I'm sat at, yeah, it's not real. No, it's real. I'm telling you, it's real.
Nah, geez. Nah, it's not.
No, geez, it's not real. Not real. You just brainwashed, mate. You just brainwashed, geez.
No, it's not. It's not real, geez. I just want to get the fans back in the stand and get back down to Chelsea.
Yeah, right. Brilliant.
Go on, Ty. You're going to go rogue. What is our long tail?
I've got a couple. So, speak. Whilst we're on the topic of McCurdy, is Vamos and Puta Lamar the only Spanish he knows?
Yeah, but Puta Lamar's not even Spanish.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
If you Google it, it's La Puta Alamar, which is, I've looked, which is something like I am the boss or I am the king or something like that. But obviously he gets it wrong. But, whatever works for him.
Of course he does. And how much chewing gum does Reedy get through on a match day?
One in the warm-up, one in the game.
Only one? I thought he'd have multiple. Keep the flavour going.
Constantly coming to us like about to go out. You got any chewing gum? Yeah, you go, mate. And then after warm-up, yeah, you got any chewing gum? Yeah, so
his dentist just a couple, must hate him.
Yeah. There's a story. So Walsall away. Was it Walsall or Crewe? No, Crewe, sorry. Yeah, Crewe away, FA Cup this year. There's probably about 15 minutes till warm-up. Really turns around, have you got any chewing gum? We open the pot, we've run out. He goes, Jonah, where's the nearest shop? Jonah goes, well, there's one round the other side, like halfway up the road. He goes, right, I'm timing you. How quick do you think you can get to that shop and back? Jonah goes, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe? He goes, right, you got 3 minutes to get to that shop, get me chewing gum, and get back here. He goes, ready, set, go. And Jonas just runs out the changing room. He's gone. He's literally legged it the entire way to this shop. Got the chewing gum, legged it all the way back. He comes back in the changing room. He is blowing.
He's
and he got back
gold.
within the 3 minutes. It was incredible. I never even like it. Everyone's clapping him when he comes back in. He was absolutely blowing. It was brilliant.
How gullible is Jonas, Steve?
He's not here to defend himself, so I can't.
Well, whilst he isn't there,
not.
then.
No, Jonas switched on. He plays a character. He's switched on. I'm telling you, one day he's going to just start talking really posh, and he's going to go, "You've all been part of a social experiment. I'm actually a genius."
So maybe you're the biggest conspiracy theorist then.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Steve's a conspiracy theorist, and we're sending Jonah to space.
Tell you what, before the takeover, there was a lot of conspiracies going around.
That's very
I didn't know what was going on. Why won't he let me go to Sunderland away? There's all sorts of conspiracies and theories going on there. But yeah.
Let's end it on a bright note then.
No, I've got one more for you. Sorry, Steve. This one's just popped in from Liam, who's asking Steve, can you tell us where the Charlie Austin flag came from and who did it?
Liam who?
This is from Liam Collett.
Oh, okay. I don't know. So we were actually putting the Alan McLaughlin flag up in the Stratton Bank, and someone came out with a package for us that had been delivered by a fan to main reception, and I opened it, and it was the flag with a note asking, "Can you put it up in the Stratton Bank below the clock?" So we did. And that is the entire story, other than I was a little bit like, because underneath it where it says Return of the King, it says time to come back and make up for the bubble, and I'm thinking, wasn't really his fault, was it? Let's be honest. So I sent him a picture of it, and I was like, "Are you all right for this to go up?" He was like, "I love it. Get it up, take a photo, stick it on the socials. It's brilliant." So I did. But yeah, no, that was it really. It was just a fan who wanted it put up and had it delivered to the club for us to put it up.
So it didn't come in from a Mr. C. Austin of Hungerford.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Unless obviously he's just pretending to be someone else. But yeah, I think they had seen on the TikTok that we put the flags up, and so off the back of that, then sent this flag in and asked for me and Jonah to put it up. So yeah, that was it. But yeah, nothing else to it really, other than a fan wanted the flag up, so we put the flag up.
That'll do,
me. Like, if anybody else asks to put a flag up, don't all send your flags in. We do it. Do you know what I mean?
Ty, sorry for interrupting. Where were you going?
That's fine. I've got one final question, and whilst he's not here, what is the best Jonah story you've got to share?
Sitting here rubbing my hands.
There was one good one that you told me in a Tesco about La Manga that is cracking.
Which one? There were so many.
Yeah.
Okay. No, here's one. Right. So, Jonah's initiation when he started the job, he sung "Stand By Me." Okay, and we won that day. So, the next week we were away, and it was my first away game, and I hadn't seen his initiation, so he was like, "Right, I need to sing this song," because Steve hasn't seen it. So he sang it again, and we won again. It then becomes a thing that when he sings, we win. So the next away game, he sings, we win. And we're thinking there's a chance of playoffs here. Then he sings and we lose at Cambridge. Or drew it. Did we draw at Cambridge or lose at Cambridge? I can't think. And that was like the end of any hope of kind of playoffs. So then, obviously, the season ends. We move on. We go off to La Manga on pre-season tour. Jonah, we're out one evening and Jonah just disappears. And I'm thinking, well, where's he gone? We're in a strange country. It's Spain. It's not that strange. But, you know, he's just disappeared. Then I hear some music start. And Richie Wellens looks at me and I look at him and he goes, he ain't doing it, is he? I went, hang on a minute. I lean back on my chair, I look in, and there's Jonah, drunk, leaning on the bar with a microphone in his hand, about to sing Stand By Me to nobody. There was nobody inside. We're all outside on the decking just having a few beers and that. And I leant forward and I just went, yep, he is, yeah. And then he starts belting it out. The next day, we go and do a session at the beach. And there's this bar on the beach. So we finish the session. Everyone's allowed one drink in the sun on this beach. Jonah decides, I'm going to get up on a chair and start singing Stand By Me. So in front of about 200 Spanish strangers that had no idea what was going on, Jonah's singing Stand By Me. Incredible.
See, now I'm telling you, Steve, there is some logic to strapping Jonah to a rocket and sending him out to space. Imagine what that would do for the history of the human race if Jonah was literally the Earth's first contact with extraterrestrial intelligence.
He'd go, all right? Sorry. You're right.
Have you heard this song?
Have you heard this song? And then start singing Stand By Me. We've been to Fratello's twice this season, and there's been karaoke, and he sung it twice.
Oh, God.
But it's brilliant, and all the lads buzz off it, and you know they all love him. Everyone loves him. So, yeah.
Steve, you're doing yourself down, mate. Mate, you've got at least 3 stands in that ground that all buzz off you boys, and no more so than tonight, mate. You've been absolutely terrific. Hope you enjoyed that. I don't think we've thrown you under a bus, have we?
No, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Well, mate, as always, open invite. Hey, listen, you're more than welcome to hang about. We're just gonna have a little chat about Barrow.
Cool. Yeah, I'll hang about for a bit. Not too long though, because it's 10:20.
It is, mate. If you got to drop away, you feel free, mate. We are literally just going to wrap up the show by way of a preview of the weekend. Firstly, Ty, stakes are high at the start of the season. If you looked at the fixture list and thought Barrow at home, you wouldn't have necessarily thought this is going to be one of those games where we've got all riding on it, would you?
Not at all, but we sort of got our own 7-game playoffs, really, starting at Hartlepool, going forward. So it's just win 7 and get promotion, or we don't. So hopefully we do it. And yeah, it's definitely not one that I was looking at when the schedule came out, thinking, yeah, that's a big game.
Yeah, I've got. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously it's still not in our hands. And if you look at the way the results went last night, you know, you're kind of thinking, bloody hell, that was relentless, a relentless set of results last night. But I mean, my only concern, I think, Steve, not a concern necessarily, but I think I said to you, Steve, earlier today, the boys have put in a hell of a shift last night, and obviously that's the recovery period's not, you know, it's not like they've got a full week to recover. So that would be my only concern. That I think if we're all expecting the same level as Zip, I mean, it would be a bloody superhuman effort to put in the same sort of levels of work rate that I think we saw last night. Given that obviously they played the majority of the second half with 10 men. I mean, I'm feeling pretty bullish. I think they're. I'm quite excited to see Phil Brown back in the Swindon dugout, purely because I think he'll get pelters. I don't think anywhere near the levels that the Pterodactyl got. But Tyler, have you got any thoughts about Phil Brown coming back?
Just sort of hope he sits him down on the pitch this time. That's just all I wanted when he came here as gaffer. So
waggy finger
again.
Just going back to the recovery bit, I think there needs to be a word for the sports science team this year, because they've been unbelievable. I mean, the way that they structure their recovery and then, you know, look after the players and in terms of their load and everything else has just been top notch. And it allows the boys to recover in the best way so that they're in the best shape for the next game. So a few of them went in today, had rubs. You know, they do Zoom calls when they're on days off. You know, they do yoga. They do all kinds of stuff that you know gets them ready to then perform again the next time. And it's not really something we've had before at the club. So I think the guys that are in this year doing it, and obviously with only having a 12-day pre-season, to be in the situation we're in, a lot of the credit's got to go to those guys for keeping a 23-man squad, functioning.
Do you know what,
by
Steve?
this stage of the season?
Mate, I think that's yeah. I mean, it's an absolute timely insight. I mean, from my point of view, I think it was only 2 weeks ago. I was engaged in a conversation on Twitter with a few of our fans where I was saying, look, for my money, I'm being quite forgiving because I was of the honest opinion our season was over, and I just made the point that you just made. Really, look, we haven't had a pre-season. That we've been entertained this year. I'm disappointed, but I'm satisfied that they've given everything, because for me, I just thought the boys had run out of gas, and then they've just found this extra gear. And I mean, okay, Leyton Orient weren't great, but if you look at 3 of the last 4 results, I mean, it's bloody impressive. Blown 2 sides away and beaten top of the table as well, and put in the shift. I mean, it turned my logic on its head. I mean, I'm the first one to admit I'm just a humble fan, but blimey, the work rate that we were seeing last night.
Oh my God, Jonah's
seen someone who's drawing. Yeah,
Jonah's just appeared. Here he is.
Better late than never, Jonah, eh?
Has he gone again?
Oh, he's being a slacker. He's just jumped on to see if we're still talking.
Yeah, right, and then disappeared again. Good one.
So, I'm guessing. I'm guessing, Steve. I appreciate some, things you can't say, and certainly things the gaffer won't thank you for saying. But suffice to say, off the back of last night, they're going to be absolutely buzzing, aren't they? Going into Saturday, got to be expecting as close to a full house as we can expect. Again, another one of those turnarounds, because at the start of the season, if you said to me Barrow at home, I would have been saying that's an absolute sure banker for 7,000 fans in the ground tops. We're going to do that and some on Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're looking at a big crowd again, and the boys will be buzzing again. And as long as the atmosphere last night was incredible, wasn't it? So if that's recreated and then the boys have that energy again, then there's no reason why we can't do what we need to do, I don't think.
Tyler, do you think we're going to see any changes? I won't put Steve in that position.
Probably just because of the amount of running the boys got through on Tuesday. So hopefully, but good evening, Jonah. Took your time.
We're going to be slotting Jonah in at left back, aren't we? From what I hear.
Turn your mic on, Joe. He can't play left back. Turn your mic on, Joe.
Jonah needs to sing "Stand By Me" to make up for not being here.
That's a good point, actually. Go on, Jonah. Jonah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Jonah, the stage is yours. Give us at least one verse.
How are you guys?
Better when you start singing.
I've got a toothbrush in my mouth at the minute. I've just.
Well, use that as your mic, mate. Come on.
I've just stepped into the bathroom to brush my teeth, and I've just made it tonight. So,
Jonah, thank you for joining us. Nonetheless, I'm gonna give you a couple of options. You can either go with the Oasis "Stand By Me," or you can go with the Benny King "Stand By Me." But the choice is yours.
I was always a Benny King. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Hey.
Jonah, I think we've just hit a brand new two, and I know Andrew Horse is listening in, and he's thinking that Tyler and that Hanrahan fella have taken live broadcasting to a whole different level. And how can I compete with that?
I tell you what, you should just see my missus' face as she just walked into the room. That was priceless.
Jonah, I've told the story of La Manga and you singing.
Yeah,
that's where this comes from.
That was probably my favourite one of that, doing that song, actually.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them, let's be honest.
Yeah, that was good. That's probably the biggest audience.
Yeah.
So, Jonah,
No one could
how
understand me either.
How are you feeling off the back of last night, Jonah? You must have been absolutely buzzing as well.
Yeah, it was brilliant. One that couldn't get to sleep after, to be honest. Been sleeping all day today.
Mate,
don't know whether that's the long trip at the weekend or not, but I don't.
I mean, I've got to be honest, mate. I drove back to London, and I was similar to you. By the time I got home, I think I was still up. I was still sat on Twitter about 2:30, and I was buzzing. I just couldn't get off to sleep.
It's crazy. It's crazy after a good win, isn't it? Everybody's loving it on Twitter.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Jonah, I said to Steve, like, obviously you've been involved with the club now for a number of years. That's got to be that's probably taking Man City to one side, because Man City had, to quote Tyler, had a kind of festival feel. That has got to be the loudest the county ground's been for,
I'll tell you,
for my money, a good 10,
maybe
12 years.
Maybe Exeter at home.
That was what I was about to say. Exeter. When Doyle come back.
Yeah, that was phenomenal, wasn't it?
That was on the back of your neck stuff, that.
Yeah, when they walked out. I'll tell you another one. Well, it wasn't a home game, obviously, but in terms of loudness, Walsall away, my hairs were sticking up at that game. That was incredible. And hopefully it'll be the same again next week. But
it might be better, mate.
That was
even more.
That was loud. But yeah, I'd say yesterday was up there with the Exeter game minus Man City.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't think the players need any encouragement from us, but obviously I completely agree with Ty. I think that's going to be quite some spectacle up in Birmingham. And I think if ever they needed that extra motivation, they're going to get a packed house on Saturday. And then obviously they've got they'll have an absolute armada of Swindon fans filling up Warsaw's ground for them. So hopefully that's going to be enough to carry us where we need to go on Saturday. Yeah. But Ty, we were just talking about. We're just going to talk about the team, Jonah, as you were coming on. Ty, I won't put you two boys in difficult positions, but Ty, do you anticipate any changes?
Got to have a couple, because
right?
Yeah, because they've got through a lot of running on Tuesday. One thing I can say is I've just found out why Dion has his shirt cut, and that's purely because it's a superstition he started at the beginning of his career. Why you just start randomly cutting your shirt, I'm not quite sure, but if it works, it works, I guess.
Interesting.
How did you find that out, Ty?
I thought I'll take it upon myself and just DM and ask. Quite simple.
Brilliant. Good for you.
So yeah, that's why. I can't believe you haven't asked, to be fair, Steve. You've been working.
I just do it, mate. Whenever he gives me the shirt, it's like, oh, we got 5 minutes until warm up. I'm like, yeah, just give it here. Give me a pair of scissors, and I'll just chop it, and then we're done. Right, and then we're out, and we're, it's not like he asked me a week prior, and then I'm like, oh, why do you do this? We don't really have the conversation. He just throws the shirt at me and a pair of scissors and goes, go on, and I chop it up.
You never let Jonah give it a go.
Jonah?
Tell you what, Steve can't cut two socks at the same level. That's all I'm saying.
There were two different socks.
They're going to force a fight between the Kitman over socks.
He does something else all evening, right? Lets me sit here answering all these questions. Then when it's done, boss, in he comes, starts trying to batter me. Get Jojo on here, mate. Go on, he'll help you out.
We get Tom on as well.
Yeah, get Tom on.
Yeah, Jonah,
Tom Wallacott.
It's not all come on and sing your songs, and Steve's done the hard graft tonight, mate. You just Steve in and taken all the glory.
I bet Jonah hadn't found out that Jojo's got a twin brother.
No, I bet he can't know. His name's Tom. He works at BMW, mate, on motorbikes. Yeah.
Is that why Jojo's got a BMW?
I reckon it could be.
Tom, yeah, Jonah, we've literally that was a revelation to the three of us, mate, before you came on as well. But thanks to Joe Vincent, we have learned that Jojo has a twin brother, and his name's Tom, and he does look a bit like Jojo as well.
Oh, it's not identical then.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say he's identical, But see, I'm, not that I'm going to try and back out of sending you the hoodie, Joe, but I did say I want evidence of him being a goalkeeper. And you haven't quite delivered that. But, listen, I'm a charitable fella, so I'll look after you. But yeah, Jonah, there's a task for you. Does Tom Woolacott playing goal? Is he a cat?
I'm going to ask him tomorrow.
Jonah, did you also know that Odomayo has a Pikachu tattoo?
Whereabouts?
It's on his left arm, mate.
Again, every day's a school day, mate.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I'm looking tomorrow.
Yeah, I knew he had a 99 on his arm.
No,
But
he's got Pikachu as well, unless he's had it removed, which I'll be very disappointed with.
I'll also look for that tomorrow. Players will be finding it weird tomorrow. I'll be looking at them.
Yeah.
Asking them
There's all sorts of stuff. Another question, Jonah, was who's the hairiest player? What do you think my answer was, quick?
What? Hairiest ever player is Michael Doughty. I can't really think of any this
No,
year.
it's not. Brett Pitman, mate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course it is. What? Was that your answer?
Yeah, because is there any this year?
No, they're all like you and they shave their legs.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. At least I got some legs. I'll pipe clean a boy. Get in the gym. Don't forget leg day.
Nah, there isn't really any hairy boys this year, is there?
No.
There actually isn't. Which is weird. There's always one normally.
So no, yeah. So you're not finding yourself having to unblock the shower drains.
No,
it sounded like Brett was maybe delivering that sensation for you last season.
Yeah, he was hairy. He was. Jesus. Whatever questions did I miss out on?
Oh, you missed some absolute
That's
classics.
a lot.
One of them, Jonah, has led to you being strapped to a rocket and sent to space as the planet Earth's first contact with extraterrestrial life.
And you're going to go, all right, sorry, and then start singing Stand By Me.
You all right?
You're right.
You're right.
Sorry.
Well, here's one for you. So Espirito de Cadiz and all that, gentlemen. Steve, Jonah, have you got any questions for Tyler, myself, or anyone else in the Swindon Town fan base that you might want to ask? Because it's fair to say that Cads caught me proper left field when he started asking us questions.
I think he came prepared, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah, he was listening a minute ago. He seems to have gone since Jonah came on.
Yeah.
I love. Well, I've probably been speaking to him too much. He probably.
Yeah, he probably went, oh my God, he's here again. Get out.
I can't even think of it. I ate it when he got.
I don't know.
Oh.
Go on then. Hannah's favourite Swindon shirt.
1989, 1990 goalkeeper shirt.
Fair enough.
If you could relive, this is both of you to answer. If you could relive any Swindon game that you've been to again, what would it be and why?
Oh. That's a proper tough one. I mean, my answer for favourite kit, Steve, it would have to be the nice like sponge potato print, whatever you want to call it. You know, the one that Hunty wore a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
that one, proper classy kit. But in terms of
that's hanging in the kit room, signed by Glenn Hoddle, by the way.
Oh, that is double decent.
You'll see that one next week.
Yes, I will, son.
Steve, I could tell you a story actually about emotional connections to kits. Did I ever tell you the story about? So basically, I decided to take a job with a competitor company approximately 1 week before 442 decided to announce the sponsorship of my beloved Swindon Town. And my first day on the job, I got the publishing director, because three of us basically used to run the brand. you had a publishing director, an editor, and I ran all the commercials. And the publishing director sent me he sent me a text and went, "Have you got your new email, mate?" And I went, "Yeah." And then he basically sent me the press release before it went off to the BBC. And he literally just like, because if you imagine, all I used to talk about was Swindon Town in the office. So we had conversations about sponsoring clubs, and the talk back then was we were going to sponsor either Scunthorpe, ironically, or Brighton. And I was making a case for Swindon. They were like, nah, because I just overexposed the club, and there was always a reason not to. And anyway, when I left, they just decided it would be epic banter to go and sponsor Swindon. So they did a bit of a Swifty with Swift deal with the club, and then announced it on my first day working for a competitor. Suffice to say, 9 months later, I was back in 442 Towers. So I do have an emotional attachment to the red and white Lotto from the Danny Wilson era, because it's got that nice little story attached to it.
Yeah, it's a good kit, that. Very good kit.
Oh.
And reliving a game, that's an easy one for me. It would be, I'd love to go back and experience with my 45-year-old head on the 93 playoff final, because I don't think I appreciated it the way I should have, mainly because as a kid I was still recovering from the merciless bullying I suffered after the 2-division demotion in 89-90, and I would just love to experience that Glenn Hoddle goal, because I can still picture it in my head, but I'd love to experience that again. And that was just bonkers. Like, that whole game was just bananas.
That's weird, isn't it? Imagine going back and going there again, but at the age you're at now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be so crazy.
How old was I? 8? I think I was 8 at that game.
I wasn't even thought of, so that went in perspective.
That would be mad, wouldn't it? Because at 8-year-old, I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I was there, but I was just there.
I was 15, Steve. Like, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of very, very kind of intelligent football thinkers at 15 years of age, but I just think with the 30-year kind of perspective, you know, and understanding of football, your perspective changes on life. And I just love to, I think I would cherish that game so much more now, knowing, because back then it was like the only ways up for Swindon Town, and it felt like we were a club that was just going to get up, and I hoped that we would get up and stabilise, because I just saw everything so rose tinted, and I think I'd just make so much more of it now. I think I'd appreciate it. I'd savour it more.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
What about you two boys, Steve? I mean, I appreciate you said turning questions on us, but what about you guys? Like, whether from a pitch side point of view, is there a game you'd love to go back and enjoy for the whole piece, including the banter with the boys afterwards?
In terms of like in the job?
Yeah.
Oh, Plymouth away.
Yeah.
Oh, magic.
All the 10 games we missed at the end of that season.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and do them.
Nah, that didn't happen.
Or Northampton, maybe. Northampton away, when Lloyd scored his header. And, you know, that was the night where we were like, do you know what? We're going to win this league.
Yeah. That's special, wasn't it? That Doyle cross was absolutely delicious.
Yeah. And Lydon scored a header. I mean, how often does that happen?
Lydon scoring, how often does that happen?
But no, that Plymouth game was something special, because we ended up in the crowd with the fans, and it was like when Doyle scores and Yates, he runs all the way down, and you know, we're all in the crowd together giving it one.
The change room after was good that game.
Yeah, it was buzzing. Oh, there's another one, isn't there? There's Oxford away last year.
Yeah.
From our point of view, that was incredible.
I was nearly in tears.
That was mad. You had certain members of their staff starting on certain members of our staff.
Yeah.
And you had me just standing there going, is this happening? What's going on here?
Yeah,
I just stood in the middle of it all going, what's happened?
Yeah,
and then, you know,
Will Fowler
it
was
gave
very
it that
open
little
about
edge.
that, mate. Will Fowler was very, very open about what happened there.
Oh, Will, yeah. Yeah.
Walking out of there so smug.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice.
Because it's funny, isn't it? I mean, like, we know that there's Needle, you know, because obviously you've got the supporter rivalry and whatnot. But I mean, it really came to the fore that just how strong the rivalry is off the pitch as well. In terms of how some of their staff, some of the things that we heard. I mean, it's pretty unsavoury stuff.
We were locked out when we got there, so we got to the ground. There was nobody there, and then they eventually let us in, and we had to wheel our stuff from the van all the way through the stadium and to the change room. It was quite a distance, and then we got to the change room and it was locked. And then nobody had a key. Miraculously, nobody had a key to let us in. So we stood in the corridor with all of our stuff for a good half an hour. And they wouldn't let us in the change rooms.
Oh, my God.
But we won, so...
I love
yes,
it when
we did. And now that event has got a pseudo radio show named after it.
There you go.
That's how big it was. What was... So, obviously, Broady came on and told us a story about that game from his perspective. Have you got any memories of Broady that night and sort of observations of him having obviously scored his goal? And because he explained what it was like sitting on the bench and then obviously getting called in and going up top. But
yeah, well, we all thought he was going on to go at the back, and we were all thinking, well, what's going on here? Why are we making a defensive sub? And then he went up front. We were like, oh, all right, oh, okay.
He was buzzing when we got back to the ground and all the fans there. I remember when me and Steve were
Funny
in the
thing
van
about
and
that video, isn't it?
Yeah, we drove into the ground and we were like, what? Obviously, we had heard online that there was some fans there, and then we drove in and we were like, what? And then me and Steve were out there starting chants, and then they got back on the coach, and Broady was loving it, wasn't he?
And the video of Broady when he goes up to the fans, I'm actually filming it. Yeah. I've got his hand in my phone and I'm filming the video.
We were out there.
It was mad. It was just a mad night.
He was lapping that up. He loved
it. Of course he did. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
So you were saying a bit about Plymouth, Steve.
Yeah.
Have you got any overriding stories from that night? Like things that really stick in your head that made that so memorable?
Yeah, well, we obviously thought it was going to be Doyle's last game. Do you know what I mean?
I remember being in a service station on the way back, and he was like, obviously buzzing with the game, and I remember just standing there. We were like getting some food in the service station. He was like gutted because he knew like a couple of days later he was going to go back.
Yeah.
I think he already knew at that point. I think everyone sort of knew that he was going to be called back.
Yeah, he knew he was going back.
But what a mad month that was. Like Jerry getting called back, Hallam coming in and scoring, and then that game when they both come back that we were just on about just there. That was a crazy month, that.
And after the game at Plymouth, so obviously we think it's going to be his last game. So we were like, let's get a photo of the three of us. And we're in the showers getting this selfie with Owen Doyle. It's just like the weirdest thing. Like, but now that photo is up in the kit room. It's been everywhere, that photo. So yeah, that like we thought it was going to be his last day, and we were like, look, don't just go like without saying goodbye. Like, come and see us before people leave and that. And he took all his stuff, thinking fully that it was his last hurrah,
Yeah.
And then he come back, which was incredible.
That still ranks as one of my top 5 Swindon Town memories. That week when the boys came back was absolutely brilliant, and that's the video that Hookie filmed of Doyler in the office, and the big bromance reunited.
Yeah,
that was incredible, and I think it was so well managed, all those comms, like going into the Exeter game, and I think that contributed to that atmosphere. It was like brilliantly done, absolutely brilliantly done.
Agreed.
Right then, boys. So you're both feeling pumped. Clearly, give us the give the boys all of our best ahead of Saturday. I'm sure you will. And then, of course, we look forward to seeing you next week for the inaugural Sir Tom Broadbent Lounge Awards on Tuesday night.
The big one.
The big one. So we got the boys popping in, collect their various awards, of which we got. Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong. 15 or 16?
I want to say it's 16, but I have 18 frames. So if we come up with 2 in the meantime, we can figure something out.
Man, that's just because I'm the clumsiest man in the world. I'm about to break at least 2 of them. But Yeah, so we look forward to that. Obviously, for the benefit of the listeners, we're going to be live from the County Ground Kit Room on Tuesday of next week from 6 p.m. 16 awards. Be speaking to a few of the lads. Kindly said that they're going to be coming in, having a chat with us about their season, and obviously the nature of their award. They don't actually know that they've won awards yet, which is obviously really positive. And we might have a few surprises lined up as well. So keep them peeled. On Saturday, Ty, do you want to say a bit about what we're doing on Saturday?
You probably know more than me, so.
Well, we're going to be broadcasting St Tom Broadbent Lounge live from the cricket club, the Great Western Reds end of season barbecue. So Tyler and I are going to be there in person. So do come over and say hello. It'll be a nice little souvenir for you at the end of the season. Get your voice on the show. We will be recording it. And it'll be brilliant to get your thoughts on your personal journeys of the season. So don't be a stranger. If you see a wee, almost 18-year-old and a big fat bald bloke walking about with a suspicious looking hoodie on, come say hello. And don't be put off by the fact I'm walking around talking into my phone, because that's just how this tech works. So we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. I think that wraps us up quite nicely, Ty. How was that for you?
Oh, that was double decent, son. Double decent.
What a terrific couple of lads. Joni, you can go back on mute, mate, or jump off, because I'm going to say lots of nice things about you both.
I want to hear it. Go on.
Nothing you haven't heard before, boys. Beating heart of our football club, lads. Keep it up. It's always good seeing smiling faces on the pitch and off the pitch. It's always great to bump into you on a Saturday. And yeah, really, really looking forward to Tuesday. A very, very, very busy, nerve-wracking, nail-biting couple of weeks ahead. And I wish all that sail in the good ship HMS Pistol League the very, very, very best of luck for Saturday. Tyler, take care of yourself. I'll catch up with you in a couple of days, no doubt.
All right.